All right, so this is my video on how to build a burning laser. I've taken all the guesswork out of this video. I'm going to show you how to get the parts, how to assemble them, and build a power pack for portable. It's a very nice little project if you want it for the science fair. It's a nice little gadget. I like guy gadgets, just to build if you're bored. And again, this is how to build your very own burning laser. And I'm going to build it right here in my kitchen this morning. And you follow along, and you step by step, I take all the guesswork out of how to do this. So let's start by taking a look at the device you're going to be building. This is the completed laser right here. The front, flip this puppy around, and the back. And as we move along, I'll show you the parts you need. You're going to need 2 of these lithium batteries, 3.6 volts. You're going to need the laser diode. You're going to need the momentary switch to turn it on and off. You're going to need a disconnect. This is a luminary disconnect. You can buy it as is, or you can steal it out of, there's lighting devices that use this to separate the ballast, from the light itself. You could cut one out to use it, but I ordered one of these, and it's very good. You're going to need this to keep the power pack separated when you're not using this puppy. We have a voltage regulator, and we have the laser housing itself. That's going to hold all the little pieces together in front of the diode to condense the beam. So there's also a few more additional things you're going to need in order to put this device together. Some tools and some other items here, and I'm going to show you everything in depth. First thing, you should get some eye protection. These are laser, they protect your eyes against the beam itself. This beam can damage your eyes, so I recommend you get yourself a pair of these. You're going to need a soldering iron. Nothing fancy. I got a standard little soldering iron. You're going to need a glue gun. And again, it's nothing fancy. It's just a standard little glue gun. You can buy these fairly cheap. You're gonna need some heat shrink to protect your connections. And I got it at Lowe's for a couple of dollars. You're gonna need solder, 60/40 for electrical connections. You're gonna need some wire for your connection. Now, what I did is, this is thermostat wire. It's 18.5. It's standard thermostat wire. It comes with 5 different colors. When you strip it, it looks like this. And we're going to use just the red and the white for positive on the red and negative on the white. You're going to need some PVC pipe. This is just 1/2 inch electrical PVC pipe. You can get, again, at Lowe's or Home Depot. Okay. And this is a cut version of the pipe. We're going to cut later. You're going to need this for your lens. I got some aluminum foil so you don't burn the counter when you're soldering, etc. And a couple of other things here. You're going to need, this is a 1/2 inch female thread for the PVC, and it slips on the end of the PVC. And this is a plug at the end of it that actually threads in here. This is what's going to hold your momentary switch for the power pack. And this will slide onto the end of the PVC here. And this becomes the housing for your power pack eventually. Okay, so let's talk about some tools you're going to need. Now, this is my tool belt. I'm a master electrician by trade. You're not going to need all these tools, but You're going to need a couple of them. You're going to need a wire stripper. This is a standard wire stripper. And you're going to need that to strip the 18 gauge. And if I put this down, you can actually read on the blade itself. There are gauges there. And you'll see 10, 12, 14, 16, and then you'll see 18 at the end. So you're going to need that to strip your wire. You're going to need a hammer to tap in the diode to the housing with a skinny screwdriver, which is this one right here. And these three tools are basically what you're going to need. Also, you might need a knife. You might need one of these, you know, just to open up things and maybe to clean an end up or something on a project. But these are the four tools you're going to need, basically, to put this device together, outside of the soldering iron and the glue gun. This is the laser device we're going to be building. You can see at the end is the momentary switch to turn it on and off. You have the female threaded connector into the PVC housing that's holding your two batteries. This is the orange luminary disconnect that I'm using to connect the power pack to the laser itself, and it comes apart. And this is the laser completely assembled with the two lenses at the end that you're going to need to magnify the beam into a beam that'll burn. And I'm going to put the phone down and shut the light off, and you're going to get a demonstration of the laser working. And I'm going to use a match and show you the beam igniting the match. But the beam cuts through and burns a different amount of things. Leaves, I've tried it on leaves, plastic. It'll, you know, it's a burning laser, and that's what it does. And you can see that instantly burned the match and lit it. So I set up all my parts here to put the initial device together. The laser itself, and we're going to go step by step, but these are all the parts you need at this moment to put this baby together. You're also going to need your red and white positive wires, and let's begin. Out of the laser housing, the diode housing, I only use a certain few pieces of this. You don't need all of them. So you're going to need this piece right here, which is what the diode goes in. You're also going to need the threaded piece. And you're going to need this magnifying lens, which collects the laser light and focuses it initially. And that's this piece right here. So these are the three pieces you need out of your 5 pieces. The spring and the bottom end of the housing I don't use. It's just cumbersome. You don't need it. So we're going to be tossing those. Okay, so in this portion of the video, I'm going to put the LED, the laser diode, which is right here in this little baggie, inside the housing. And the only thing I find with these parts is they are tiny, and you know, if you got big fingers like mine, it's sometimes it's a chore. Okay, so you're gonna line this little puppy up just like this into the housing itself. Get a close look. Okay. And you're going to take a screwdriver and a hammer, and you're going to tap that puppy into the housing so it's there permanently and it's not going to fall out. So let me put the phone down. Very hard to do this with a cell phone, but it's good quality video. Okay, so now that I got the phone where it's got to be, We're gonna tap this puppy in. Okay, and again, these parts are tiny. They're very tiny. But I mean, you can get there. You just have to work on it. You know, be very careful. But and that's the diode inside the housing, which holds it in place, allows you to work on it, and is the first piece of your laser. All right, I'm just about ready to start soldering this puppy together. So you're looking at the laser diode. There are 3 prongs on it. You want to solder the middle prong with the right prong together, and that's going to be the negative side of your power for this laser. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. Okay, we're going to take some of this white wire. You're going to need about 4 inches of it. Take the wire stripper and we're going to cut this puppy in half. Okay, this is the wire. And the stripper, and I stripped just about a little bit off the end there of that wire. That's going to be your negative connection to this diode. And here we go. Now, I know a lot of you have helping hands and all that stuff. I try to do this freestyle. You know, I solder my stuff freehand. And sometimes it's tough, but give it a shot right here. And that's not bad. Not bad at all. And just make sure that the prongs stay separated. And this is what we got. Okay, so the middle prong and the right prong are soldered together. And that's your negative side of the laser diode. So now to protect that that solder that we just did there, the soldered end that we just did, we're going to take some of this heat shrink. We're going to cut a little bit of piece of it, and we're going to slide it over. We're going to slide it over the soldered joint that we just did. And just bear me 1 second while I get a piece out of here. And this stuff is basically just a little tube of rubber. You know, you're gonna cut a little piece off the end here, and then you're gonna slide it down the wire to the connection, and then you're gonna use a match to shrink it to the size you need. Okay, so I slid it down there. You can see it's on our connection. Gonna grab a match. And and that's it. And that protects our from shorts from that side. And now we're going to put a positive wire on the other side of the diode. Okay, so I've got my piece of wire ready for the next soldering here. As you can see, I moved my little diode on the side here, just because I do this freehand. So whatever's comfortable for you, you know, set it up the way you're gonna do it. But you're gonna solder the red wire now onto the positive side of the diode. And again, because I do this stuff freehand, you want to be comfortable doing it. So however you can get it on there, however the soldering works for you, that's okay. And there you have it. This is your this is the laser diode part of the laser in the housing with your 2 leads going to it, put together. Okay, so you're going to repeat the step you did with the negative side on the positive side, and you're going to sleeve a piece of heat shrink over it. Going to grab another match. Bear with me. Match just busted. Let me grab another one. And we are going to heat shrink this side. Nice match. All right, we'll grab one more match. Maybe this one will stay on, I don't know. Okay, one more time. Repeat, rinse. And that's it. And that's your laser diode in the housing with the 2 leads coming off of it. So now that we've built our, we've got our leads on our laser with the diode inside. Take a peek at that. Okay, I'm gonna put this piece on the side for now. We're gonna move to these 3 parts right here. This is a luminary disconnect, and this is what we're gonna use so we can connect and disconnect the power pack. You can build this with the power pack all in one. I don't like doing that. I want the option to disconnect the power pack if I can. It's always a good idea to always have some kind of power, you know, disconnecting means on your power supply. And this is a voltage regulator, and the one that we're going to use for this project. And the reason I like this luminary is because just by chance, the design of both of these allow these to be sisted together really nicely with a little bit of glue on our laser. So it just by chance it worked out real nice. I tried a few of these, but this is the one. This is the one that worked best. And as you can see, I got the heat gun, the glue gun plugged in and warming up because we're going to need that in a second. And we're going to put this piece of the project together right now. So give me a second to set up the camera, and I'll show you what you're going to do in your next, the next part of the video. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to take the back of the luminary that has a B on it. B stands for the black wire, which is your negative, and we're using white for this purpose. But right here, you're going to put a drop of glue on the back here. Okay, so we got the glue on there nice and hot, and we're going to press the voltage regulator into the glue like that. And this stuff cures pretty quick. And this is how that sisters together, and it works really, really nice. So that little indentation, if you can see that, allows the back of the voltage regulator to glue straight into there, and it works really nice. And we're going to let this dry for a second and harden. And I will show you, I'll show you the next connections shortly. And again, this is what you just did. The voltage regulator with the writing pointing up. And this is the back, a little bit of glue on the back of the luminary disconnect. And this will eventually plug into the battery. This other piece right here is what the battery is going to be connected to. And this just plugs in nice after like this. And you have your connection and your disconnection mean to the power supply. And that's why I like using these. And I recommend you put one of these on your power supply. You don't have to, but it's a good idea to be able to disconnect your battery just in case anything. The next piece you're going to need for a little project here is this resistor here. And we're going to be shaping it, and we're going to be soldering it onto the voltage regulator before we make our connections to the laser itself. And I'm going to put the phone down and then set it up. And I'll show you what it needs to look like before you solder it onto the voltage regulator. All right, so as you can see, I've shaped the resistor. This is what you want to do. You want to take the top end lead there and bend it all the way down. And then you want to take your stripper there and you want to cut the ends off so they're even. Leave about 1/4 inch, a little bit more than 1/4 inch. That might be a little bit more than 1/4 inch. But this is how you want to shape your resistor for the next part of the soldering on this project. Okay, so we're going to solder this resistor to these two prongs right here, the middle and the end one. Okay, and I'm gonna do the solder, then I'll show you a close up on it. You kind of got to do this flat, and kind of tough to hold the phone and do this, but so let me put it together, and then you can take a look at it up close. All right, that's one prong. So you can see that the resistor's on the top prong right there. And then the other lead's going to go to the middle. Do that right now. Again, I know I do this freehand and, but whatever makes you comfortable in soldering. So this is basically what you should have right now. You should have the resistor on a bit of a close-up look there. Okay, on the two end prongs there. On the middle and the end prong. And that's your resistor connection. And this isn't a contest for being neat on soldering. Again, I do this freehand. These parts are way too tiny for my hands, but whatever makes you comfortable, however you want to solder this. So this is what your piece should look like at this stage of the laser. So next we're going to do the third prong on the voltage regulator. What you're going to need to do is strip the rest of your red wire. You should have, I cut that piece in half originally to do the lead on the laser diode. You need about 6 inches of this wire, but you're going to strip another piece of it. You're going to strip one end. Okay, and that's going to go in. It's going to go into your disconnecting, your luminary disconnect here that I'm using, and you're going to press it in to the positive side of the luminary. Now, press it in hard and then yank on it. It shouldn't come out. And once you did that, that's where that wire goes in. And that's your positive side. And this little wire is going to get soldered to the remaining lead on the voltage regulator, which we're going to do in 1 second. Okay, so the wire we just pressed into the luminary disconnect, I cut it and I stripped it, and it's over the remaining lead there. And that's where it's going to get soldered, to that remaining lead, to complete the circuit on this voltage regulator for the laser. So I'm going to put this down, I'm going to solder it, and then I'll show you the soldered end. This particular piece is pretty easy to put together because it doesn't really move. You know, the resistor you're holding, and that's it. If you look at it, that's your connection to the positive side of the power pack. And the circuitry for the voltage regulator is complete. And now all you have to do is connect the laser diode to this circuit, and your laser will operate once it connects to the power pack. And this is what it should look like all together. And the next step is connecting the laser diode. So as you can see, I've stripped the red side on the laser diode that we soldered a little earlier. Okay, I left the white long because the white has to go into the B side of your luminary disconnect. So we're going to start with soldering the red wire to the voltage regulator along where the resistor is on the first prong. So where you see that little bit of solder, that's basically where you're going to solder the red along with that resistor, and that completes your circuit to the positive side of the laser diode. And I'm going to solder that for you right now, and then you can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what you should have. That red lead for the laser should be soldered along with the resistor together on the last prong. Okay, now all we're going to do now to finish this laser is strip the end of the white, and we're going to stick it into the B side of which is your negative side of the luminary disconnect. And I'm going to do that right now, then show you a picture of it. All right, and this is what we just built. This is what you just spent a good portion of the hour building with me. This is the completed laser. And I'm going to show you right now. I have a power pack already built. We'll build one after. I'll show you how to build it. But I'm going to plug in the power pack, and I'm going to show it up. I'm going to show you how it works. So just hang on a second. And this is a power pack that I built previously. Okay, there's a momentary switch at the end. The two batteries are going to go inside the housing. And this is the luminary disconnect. And you can kind of see the end of one of the batteries going into the disconnect itself. And if you bear with me. So this is what I was showing you before. This is the end of the two ends of the luminary disconnect, and you plug it in. Okay, and this is your laser. This is the completed device. Obviously, I haven't shown you how to build a power pack yet, but the laser is complete. And if you press the button, you can see that the diode is working correctly if you followed all the steps that I showed you. And which brings us back to this little piece right here. Now, to focus the laser into a beam, you're going to need these two little pieces. But to actually make the laser burn, you're going to need two focusing magnifying glasses, which we'll get into a little later. But right now I'm going to show you how to put this little piece together to your laser, and then I'll show you how I'll show you the beam that it makes. And let's begin. So you're going to take this piece. This piece actually threads in to this other piece right here. Threads into this other piece. Again, these pieces are really small for my fingers, but we will put it in, you know, do our best here. See that? And that should thread straight in and go till you can't go anymore, all the way to the bottom. Okay, and that's our first lens that's going to go on this laser. It's our first lens that's going to go on this laser. I'm going to put this right here. I'm going to disconnect the laser from the battery pack that we just built. Okay, and we're going to thread this on here. Now, to get the beam to the first to the first point that you want, you're going to just put this in very lightly, and that's it. And that's going to condense your beam. That's going to be the first part of your focusing your beam to the point where it's going to burn. Now I'm going to reconnect it to the power pack. And it fell out. Let's put it back on there. You just want it at the very end. Eventually we're going to glue this. Right now I'm just going to show you. So there's the laser connected to the power pack once again. And I've put the end on it. And we'll put a little piece of paper here. And you're going to kind of see, you can see the beam. You kind of have a nice little focused beam now on the laser. Okay, so that's part one of building a laser. I showed you step by step from parts to the finished product on your little project here on building this laser. And the next part of the video is going to be building the power pack so you can make this portable. So now that we've completed the laser, we're going to build the power pack, which is this little device right here. It's got a momentary switch at the end of it to turn it on and off. And these are the parts you are going to need. You're going to need the 2 lithium batteries. You're going to need the female threaded coupling for the PVC, the 1/2-inch PVC. You're going to need this piece right here, which is it'll thread into the end there and it'll hold this, which is the momentary switch, in place. You're going to need the luminary disconnect, the other end of it. And you're going to need a piece of the red 18 wire. And this is just a shot, the distance of all the parts that you're going to need for the next phase of the battery pack. So the reason I use PVC to build this housing is because this stuff fits together very tightly. And it's very easy to take it apart if you have to do repairs or any kind of other work to this project. And you could kind of see, this is the battery pack that I built for the first laser. You can see how that comes apart and it fits neatly inside the PVC and it protects it. And this is what we're going to build. And all the parts I just shown you, this is what you're going to end up having when it's all together, said and done. So for this piece of the video, I've moved to the garage and I'm going to cut 4 inches of PVC for the housing on the power pack. All right, so we have a 4-inch piece of 1/2-inch PVC for the housing on the battery pack. And now we're going to drill a hole. We're going to drill a hole in the end plug to hold our momentary switch. And you're going to need a a 1/2 inch drill bit, and a drill of some kind. I got my cordless here, but you know, whatever you got. All right, gonna try to do this while videotaping. The vise is gonna be a little so this tighter. Is what you should have once you drill through it. Again, kind of hard to video it and do the actual drilling. And what we're gonna do now is put the momentary switch through the hole. And I'll show you a picture of that shortly. And this is what you should have when it's completed. And this will thread into the female side of our coupling, which will go on the end of the pipe that holds our batteries. Okay, back up from the garage. So I have my momentary switch going through this little threaded plug that's going to thread into my female end of the coupling. And I have 4 inches of PVC cut that's going to be my housing. And as you can see, it's shaping up. And then this will be the end, and the batteries are going to be inside. So again, I'll do a close up here. Okay, so what we're gonna do next is we're going to thread. This little piece in, but before we do that, I have to solder. Gonna need a piece of the white wire. We're gonna have to solder some leads onto that switch, because that's what that is. It's to turn your power on and off, and you can't go all the way up to the leads with the battery, and it's a little short. So we're gonna make 1.25 inch cuts on this wire, and we're gonna solder it to the end of our lead underneath this piece right here. And I'm gonna do that for you next. And I gotta warm up the soldering iron. So while the soldering iron is warming up, get that plugged in. I just want to go over sizing here. So you can't, when you're putting the internal guts of this power pack together, you can't be any bigger than 4 3/4 from the edge to the end of your connection. It's more like 4 1/2, 4 5/8, something like that. So you got to be very careful with your measurements here in order to make this compact. I try to make this stuff as small as possible. It's tough sometimes, but so you want 4 5/8 is what I'm looking at here. And that's how much room, so when you make your cuts, that's what you need to have at the end. The entire length of the power pack from the edge of the threaded female coupling is 4 5/8. Okay, so let's solder the leads onto our momentary switch. Now, I got the entire piece here. It's easier to work with the long piece of wire than cut it after. So I got both of the ends are stripped. And let's make these connections. See if that took. Okay, one side is done. And again, I'll strip this to size in a minute. I just want to get the actual soldering complete. Okay, so one side is soldered on your switch. Pretty good, pretty sturdy. And now we're going to do the second side. I'm just going to flip this over because I pre-stripped it. And again, I do this stuff freehand. This isn't a contest for soldering neatness. Nope. It fell, but the solder took. Your switch is soldered. And what you want to do now here is you need You need no more than 1 inch and a quarter here in wire length from your leads up. So I'm gonna cut that right now, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so I'm gonna cut that to length. And then we're gonna strip the ends. And this is what you should have. And I'm gonna heat shrink those 2 connections. I'll show you that thing in 1 second. Okay, so I've put my 2 sleeves on here. I'm gonna do these both at the same time. I mean, there's enough distance between them. Should go okay. Simple stuff. Just you know, you can use a heat gun if you got it. I have a heat gun, but this is quicker. And that's it. Although I should have pulled this down a little bit more over the connection. There you go. But that's it. And whenever you can, heat shrink your connections just to keep it from shorting. But there's a lot of separation in this device. There's a lot of air, which is the insulator, and so it's you know, but you know, everything helps. And what you're gonna do now, once that cools, is you're gonna thread it inside the housing, and that's it. And this is gonna be your switch for the power pack. So the next step is we're gonna cut 3 3/4 inches. 3 3/4 inches of this red wire and this is going to be our positive lead to the luminary disconnect. And we're going to solder this puppy on next. All right, that's pretty good. And again, I'm going to take a piece of heat shrink. Whenever you can heat shrink your connections, it's you know, do it. It helps with protecting from short circuits. And this is the positive side of your luminary disconnect. Okay, and once again, you put the heat shrink on there. The match. Okay. And that's the positive side of your circuit for the power pack. Now we're going to work on the batteries shortly. Okay, so what I've done is I've cut the battery leads. On the positive side, it's a 1/2 inch long. On the negative side, it's 3/4 inch long. The negative part of the battery is going to go into this part of the luminary, marked with the black. And you can kind of press that in right now. Okay, so that's the negative side of your power pack. What we're going to do on the positive side is we're going to need to solder 2 of these batteries in series. And I'm going to cut the second battery at 3/4 lengths on each side. Okay. Remember, you're going negative to positive. You're in series. And we're going to put a dab of solder on that. And try to do this quickly because they are batteries and you don't want these heating up. I recommend safety glasses if you got them. But try to keep these from heating up the best you can. You want to do this quick. All right, not a bad little soldering connection. And then you can see where we're going with this. This has to go to the other side of your switch. And this will give you, hang on a second. Okay. So this will give you 7.2 volts to operate your laser. And that's what the laser voltage is on this project, 7.2 volts. And again, try to solder this best you can, as fast as you can. Try to keep the batteries from heating up. And safety glasses, if you got them, but I go get them. I missed the lead completely. Happens. Again, I do this freehand so the stuff moves. And that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to put a little bit more solder on the other side. And this is your battery pack. Now the last step in this battery pack, you are going to strip the end of the red. Okay, and that goes into the positive side of your luminary disconnect. You just press it in there, make sure it's in there tight. Okay, so that's, my lead's a little long there. I'm going to clean that up. And, okay, so we'll I have to, because I cut that a hair long, I got to cut some of this lead off of here in order for this to go straight. Okay, good. And this will straighten out now. And again, this stuff is a little small for my hands. You know, if you're a kid doing this on a science project, your hands might be a little small, and my hands are huge. And this is your battery pack. This is your finished battery pack that's going to go inside the PVC housing. Okay, so you can see the new battery pack we just built. Okay, and this is the laser we built. And I'm going to put the phone down and just show you this will work immediately. Once you plug this in, you can see the laser coming on. Let's see if I can show you a different angle. Okay, you can see that the laser, this is the completed laser. We're going to work a little more on the housing. But this is what you should have. This is what we just put together over the last hour on this video. So what we're going to do now, we're going to sleeve this through. And again, I like using PVC because everything goes in nice and tight, snug. It's what you want, so nothing moves. And you're just going to very carefully press everything in here. And you might need a little bit of a screwdriver to help press that in so you don't damage nothing. And press it through. And that's it. This is your new battery pack for the laser that you built. You know, and as you can see, this is the original one I built originally while I was designing this project. And this is your new one. You know, and that's what's going to power the laser that you built for this project. Okay, the final piece of this laser project. So you have a laser right now, and you know, you have a pretty fine dot, but to get it to burn, you're going to need to magnify and focus. You know, you need magnifying glasses to focus the beam a little finer, and that's what's going to ignite. You know, it's what's going to ignite matches and burn through plastic. And so this is a 16 millimeter magnifying glass, and you can see. And you're going to need 2 of these. And I'm going to show you another little trick here on holding these in place. So I found that the inside of the 1/2-inch PVC pipe, which I've cut in half. So all we're going to do here, this used to be one pipe. I put this in the vise, and I just cut it in half on both sides. Okay, and it makes a very nice you know, chamber to hold the magnifying glasses in place. So you can glue them in place, and they hold very nice. And you're going to need 2 of these. So I glued the first one in already, and you're going to need to glue a second one right behind this one. Okay, and then the laser is going to get glued in place. Just the way you see everything. And this is what's gonna, you know, make your laser burn through things. The 2 magnifying glasses at the end there. And let me put this all together, and then you can see a little demonstration. Again, this is what we just built over the last hour. The final pieces of the 2 magnifying glasses, which I gotta still glue in place onto the little raceway. So the only thing I didn't show you here is, you know, cutting this piece of PVC. All this is a round piece of PVC, just like the one I used in the housing there. I just took a hacksaw and I cut it into 2 halves so I can use one to house the laser. Okay, so this is what you should have: the power pack, momentary switch to turn it on. The luminary disconnect connecting the power pack and the laser. You could always take it apart when you store it. And I glued the laser on here. It looks messy, but it's really not. Just be careful when you're gluing. You can see that the magnification, the glasses are all clean. And that's what you need to keep, is the glasses clean when you put the magnification on here. And this is it. This is what we just built. I didn't finish the entire shell 100%. I mean, you know, I got some ideas to do it, but I didn't get into the, you know, the shell 100%. You can be creative, whatever you want to install this in or build it as. You know, you can make modifications to this and build it a different way. My original thing was just to build a long kind of a flare-like stick and for this project, but this is it. And when you press the momentary button, you can see, you know, you can see the laser turning on. Okay, and the beam burns at about an inch from the unit is where the beam actually does the burning. So the beam, it magnifies, then it re-spreads again. So what's hitting the wall is not doing any damage. The beam itself only burns at the focus point. And I'll show you in 1 second again with a match. And this is a finished project. And thanks for buying my video, how to build a burn-in laser. It's a nice little science fair project, or if you're bored. And you got all the basics on here. I mean, you can make different incarnations of this device. You know, I just showed you all the basics and how to put something like this together. And let me get a match, and I'll show you the final video of it igniting the match once again. So the burning point of this laser is where the magnification focuses it very close, and you can see it's at about 1 inch. It's at about 1 inch from the magnifying glass, and you know, whatever you're gonna try to, you know, put holes in or burn, it burns leaves, it burns plastic, whatever you want to try to burn with it, you got to be 1 inch. You know, that's where the laser is magnified the most, and will do your burning. Once again, thank you for buying my instructional video on how to build your very own burning laser. You know, this is a little rough design, but it'll get you there. And you know, the design, you can build this in different modifications if, you know, you want to be creative. And enjoy.